Hey y'all, Zelda here. This is the second part of a few-part series talking about the magician archetype with some of my guides and talking about some of the different components and messages that this archetype has shared with me as I have started sitting with my guides who, the way that they're saying it is they speak fluently with this archetype. They commune with this archetype, with the higher being of this, the energy of this archetype, and they are part of this archetype's like court. They're like messengers, even if they have multiple archetypes that they identify, because they're whole beings, my guides and your guides as well. So this one is going to be about the lightning strike of inspiration in the spirit, or in the magician. And this is the kind of classic one, but I'm going to show a couple others. This one I like. So the last episode one, or the part one, was about attuning the instrument of the body, or the vessel, kind of as tending to your instrument, being ready for inspiration. The second guide that I am kind of working with inhabits the skull, and I just love the place that they chose, the kind of like visual aspect of it. This is Donovan, who is a lightning dragon. And the lightning strike quality of inspiration is kind of like a build up and then like a natural flow of energy. And it's different to be the magician. The magician is like a lightning rod. This is kind of the image, right, of being a lightning rod, of being that connecting point between the spirit realm, inspiration, and bringing that into the earthly realm, kind of drawing that down through the being, but really serving as like a channel for that, being with that kind of infinite wisdom of like that clear channel. So with this, the lightning strike, when it hits, feels like it's not this commanding or this effortful, like extractive quality of the magician, where when we think of like getting focused and doing a project, we have like a project that we're like crafting, right? Honing this tool, holding the capacity to do the project that you want to do, that is one thing. But then the other thing is that inspiration kind of coming through. And that feels like it has a divine timing quality to it. And so there's an aspect of preparing for that. And then there's an aspect of allowing and receiving that to come through. And so one of the qualities of this is the kind of forceful or like interruptive nature, I feel like, of this. It feels like it cuts through a lot of the excess, that it cuts through a lot of even like the self or the ego, right? The identity kind of moves aside to allow this inspiration to move through. And this, to me, feels very connected to this quality of being in flow state, being in a timeless relationship with creativity and not doing it in an extractive way. And it's like not on an external schedule. It has some sort of movement, but it's not decided, and it's not, it perhaps isn't like an agreement, but it's not like a top-down agreement, right? It's like I'm open to inspiration and then it comes, not like I demand it and it shows up for me. And some people relate to their inspiration that way, and they're amazing creators. And I still think that people who are diligent about their craft and have like a really strong work ethic have more like inspired works even, and more like effortful. I don't know if every artist would agree. I don't speak for every artist, but as someone who is also kind of diligent and like tries to be devoted, I've just always noticed that my own art, my own inspiration, my own capacity to let wisdom, knowledge, ideas move through me effectively. I can't be like squishing it to death, demanding that it do what I want, which is one of the reasons that it's hard for me to make the idea of art be a job. I like chose a different route of not just like generating art professionally. And I did that for myself in part because I'm a little demand avoidant and I didn't want to ruin something that I loved by having to do it. But also, we're getting off topic. We can see how my brain works. We're getting off topic, but also because I want to be on my inspiration schedule. I want to like have a practice that nurtures me, but I also want space for the divine when it arrives. And so for me, my spiritual practice is incredibly creative. That's my experience of it. Does it always look like me making a ton of art? No, but it feels like art to me, right? And that channeling process could be just like having like an epiphany, right? Magicians have this aha moment quality. The lightning strike hits, and it's occurring to me that it also feels so true of insight, like seeing inside something. Suddenly you get the right angle and it just speaks to you, and everything lines up. And that feels synergistic. That feels like a combination of so many things that it is a moment worth noting. And flow state is something that kind of happens when we nurture the skill, the tool, the instrument enough that we can have that fluency, have that practice with it, that we can actually allow and trust the instrument and invite our self or our cognitive narration or judgment or process step aside. And that's a timelessness. So I'm going to ask Donovan whether they have something they would like to share. And then in the next video, I'm going to talk about different ways of perceiving time and the magician energy as creative process. So first, we're going to tune in with Donovan. Donovan's showing me like, how do you want me to say that? Like a push and a pull, almost. A honing. There's some temperance energy almost of the honing, and it's really the like directionality quality to it, the multi-elemental, the bringing together of all of these moments where something can come through the portal. There's already like a willingness that steps through in the Fool, and then the arrival into the moment where inspiration comes through. And it's okay to be curious about this process. Donovan says that it feels like it happens all at once, but there are warning signs. Like, should I use that example? Okay. He's showing me this video game. My name is Zelda. I really like the game Zelda. That's not where my name is from, but it may as well be, so it's fine. The Breath of the Wild Zelda game and the new one, there's a lightning element in the game, like a storm that happens. And the precursor, this is not relevant for the story, so no spoilers. But my guides sometimes speak to me through like memes or references. It's like they utilize the image bank that they have available. And in this game, the lightning will come over, like it'll become stormy, and then there'll be like zzz, zzz, like little lightning things that are like the precursor that you're gonna get hit with a lightning bolt soon. In the game, you have to like prepare for that. And in this, that's a little bit relevant actually, but not as like in a damaging way. So in the game, you have to like get rid of all your metal things because you're gonna drop them if you get hit by lightning, or like find shelter. In this instance, Donovan is saying like the metaphor kind of ends there, except there are often like warning signs that we're like receiving something that are outside the realm of our explicit awareness. So by being present with the self, by being aware of the needs of the conditions that creativity or the inspiration like demands, then we can kind of be prepared for that process to kind of like that lightning bolt to come through and have it not be like a damaging or a destructive process. Is there anything else you wanted me to share around that? Okay, ground it more. Yeah, so the lightning is not like a precursor that something bad is gonna happen. And I wouldn't think of it as much like this one specific thing, but like if you start thinking about something and it feels like a creative wave is coming on, then like adjusting accordingly to that, not just like expecting. This is also like clearing the way for that to take place, which is like getting to know how your instrument tells you that inspiration is coming through, and then what your needs are, right? It does feel like there's this quality of like, I just think of how many like creative beings are so like their perspective is artistic and creative and unique because it's different, because it's non-normative. And because many of us don't receive the capacity to understand that, we're just like told that it's wrong. It feels like that there's not a way to ground. Okay, there's not a way to ground that intense energy flow, and it can be really, really damaging. It can, it can fling away all of your armor like it does in the game. Okay, it was a very apt metaphor. Thank you, Donovan. It flings away all of your armor and it leaves you vulnerable and exposed. And so there's also like a creation, a honing of the integrity of your channel to be able to receive that and ground it, to be able to not only bring it into creation, to like breathe life into something, but also to be able to like retain the integrity of your instrument so that you can continue to be a part, because you're a vital part of this process. Do you want me to wait until next one, or should we just do a continuation of this one? Okay. So we have more to say about like neurodivergent identity, but I think what we're gonna do is kind of end this section and then move forward. So I think the last part is gonna be me talking about nonlinear time, the magician, and neurodivergence. So I'll see you soon if you want to watch it. Otherwise, thank you so much for checking this video out. Always a pleasure to spend time with you.